Congressman. We talked about it a little bit, but 9 of the 10 largest cities are ran by Democratic mayors, and we've talked about how they're
True.
increasing taxes, and you're the only one that's led by a Republican, but increasing taxes, crime, just spending. Another issue that we see that's just unconscionable is the homelessness in a lot of the larger cities and the impact of that. So how have you addressed that
Sure.
as the mayor of Miami?
So I'm going to talk about both of them separately. I think the
Okay.
first one's important because when you get kicked out of a communist country, part of what they do in communist countries is they take away everyone's guns. Okay, and when you look at our country, the Democrats will tell you that that gun violence is a scourge in America, and that's true at some level, right? But if you drill down on this issue, you'll see that America has the 7th most homicides per capita in gun violence, right? That's shocking. But then if you take out the top 5 cities, which are all run by Democrats, which all have the strictest gun laws, okay, we go from number 7 almost to number 100. So we're at the 50%, right? We're like half of all the approximate 200 countries in the world, right? So it's a totally different narrative when you take that out. So I think we need to be fair about that issue. When you talk about homelessness,
And they have some of the strictest gun laws in the country.
that's what I'm
It's
saying.
ridiculous,
That's my point.
yeah.
My point is, you take out the top 5 cities, you go from 7th to 190 something. Secondly, and so I think we just need to be clear on these issues. Sometimes, just people are not being honest, intellectually honest about some of this stuff. On homelessness, we did something called a homeless trust. We created a bed tax for tourists. Our residents don't pay it. Yep. Tourists pay it. It's 1%. And we created about $50 million in annual revenue. And we created a network because we're compassionate. And there's this sense that if you're from a Republican city, you don't care about people or what I call the least, the last, and the lost. And I think that's absolutely false. I'm Christian, and I believe that we are defined by how we treat the least of our brothers and sisters. And so we gave them mental health counseling, drug treatment, but vocational training, very important. I created a construction management program so that they can learn construction skills and go right into the labor force. We did a culinary program. We're a big, obviously, as you know, we're a big tourism city, and so we have a tremendous hospitality industry, which is a beautiful industry because it's an industry where you can start at the bottom, make it all the way to the top. She's nodding her head. Do you know what I'm talking about? My wife is in hospitality. That's why I'm so polite. Okay, and it's beautiful to see someone graduate as a chef that was homeless just a few weeks ago, go right into a kitchen, which is a sorely needed a position to fill in our city. And they're making a good amount of money right away. So we're teaching people how to fish. We're not giving them fish. That's what you do in socialist countries. That's why if you go to Cuba, and I've never been to Cuba. My grandfather was arrested by Castro. His brother died in a Cuban jail, seeking freedom. If you go to Cuba, you'll see that it's a snapshot of what it was in the 1960s. It's like a time capsule, right? So we in this country believe in freedom. We believe in economic freedom. We believe in freedom of speech, to not be censored. We believe in the freedom to protect ourselves, right, to bear arms. And these are traditional American values that we have to fight for. But I think why I'm running for president is because I can present something different to the American people as a Republican, right? I believe I can get Hispanics, which are critical, by the way, regardless of who the candidate is, whoever you choose, the Hispanic vote's going to be critical because 20% of Hispanics are undecided. And that's 60 million Americans. 60 million. And our last presidential elections were decided by very, very small margins, less than 100,000 votes, right? So critical demographic. People in cities, critical demographic. When I was first elected mayor, we had lost Dade County the year before, which is about 2.8 million people. We lost it to, the former president lost it to Hillary Clinton by 30 points in 2016. Last year in the midterms, after I got reelected by 80%, we won it by 10 points, a 40-point swing. We have to do that across urban America. There's no reason why people in cities, particularly in crime-ridden cities and homeless-ridden cities, should be voting Democrat. They're not delivering. They're not delivering. And then lastly, it's unbelievable to me that a Democrat won young voters, right? I know they're giving away education, you know, like free debt, no debt. It's like fat free fat, you know. But I mean, come on, we have such a prosperity platform to create, you know, an innovation economy. Even in agriculture, you're seeing so much innovation, right? I mean, it's such a plus for yields, carbon whatever the case may be. You know, cleaner biofuels, etc. It's really beautiful to watch as an American to see this innovation creating cleaner and cheaper fuels to power our country.